Hi guys, I want to show you something. My head's cut out purposely because you don't need it, but part of Everything Waterfalls is showing you guys how to do the different things. This here is just a plumbing a manifold. That's one thing that when I did a lot of the plumbing for my last company, I was the plumber, and most everything was manifold type thing for different rinse bars and stuff. And a lot of things that I used to plumb for was for chromiums, acids, cyanides, and the different zinc, tin, nickel type of solutions. So a lot of stuff we used in different tanks, and we needed to create a manifold. Now with here in my garden, I have over 25 pumps and different ponds. I think there's 20 ponds in different basins. So the thing is, when you're working in a different pond and you might have 2 or 3 or 4 waterfalls, you don't want to put a pump to each one, so you kind of come off with a manifold. Now with this here, we're dealing with a pump that's 1.5 inch outlet, so you want to keep the manifold, because every time you use a fitting or go up a foot or you go 10 feet on a horizon, you're losing a foot of head. So I did have something like this set up there. I had the Amazon Rainforest, it's a vertical waterfalls. I had the Beachcomber, which is a swimming pool waterfall, and a medium waterfall, and a rain chain fountain, and it was just enough to successfully do it, but yet I needed flow, but it was a 1 inch manifold. So here what I'm going to show you is we have I cut some of these nipples, made nipples out of 1.5 inch, and whenever you do stuff like this, you want to use, and I have the equipment here to take the burrs, and because you want to take off the burrs around here and also inside, because that will interrupt your flow. By having a burr here, when you push it into your fitting, it messes up and pushes your glue away. This here is a bushing, it's a socket with thread, so therefore I can go ahead and take a nipple, and these are harder to find. You might have to go to a plumbing store, but the idea is to put some Teflon tape, put this in so far, then I'm going to come up with a valve. So in this setup, what I'm going to do is come off with a fitting like this where I can glue it right in. This here will be the 1.5 inch hose barb, so I can go right into a hose like this, go right into my pump. I'm always going to leave, and with experience of making many of these, is you always make enough where I can cut it for adding on. I call it an addition. So just in case I come along and I want to put another waterfall. So this is a 3 waterfall, also a rain chain fountain setup. So when you come across like this, you can see, and I'm going to mount this up with probably a pipe type of a clamp, because I don't want it to be moving around. I'm going to have this here for the rain chain, and of course when you use a lot of different places like fountains or waterfalls, you're going to need the valve, because you're going to have to cut back to get some more, because each one of them has a different gallon per hour spec. So when you're looking at some of this, I'll show you. And it was funny, when I first was hired many years ago by this company, the main supervisor says, if I catch anybody using purple primer, they're fired, just leaving. So I went through hundreds of their quarts, and not these little cans, and it figures I got purple. Purple kind of sucks, I don't like it, but it's got 2 main focuses. What you're doing is and you go around and around. You can go as much as you want, but what it's doing is it's not only cleaning your pipe, but it's softening up so it can, the cement and the primer act to make the glue. And when you go ahead and do this, you're going to want to get a good coverage on it. And actually I've had it where I've just taken the primer and put them together, and it was very successful in gluing, but I don't recommend that for people that are just starting. Then you take the glue, you go around a few times like this, go around, make sure you have enough, and whenever you stick things together, you push it in and you give it a twist. You always twist it, and that way it get, because you don't want to just push it in just in case. You kind of make the swirl. Come with a towel like this, and you're basically, that's it. You hold it together for a little bit and you're done. Then you go to the next one. See, I got some primer. That looks pretty sucky. That's going to look like that, but it's behind a waterfall. Nobody's going to see it. And then when you go ahead and to the next glue, you're going to do the same thing with the primer. And then when you do it, again, you're going like this, and then when you push down, you come on a surface like that, so they're all in a line. It looks nice. And of course, if you have valves going different ways, then you can go and put it maybe off to the side or something, but I like to keep mine really uniform. And that's all. So we got a manifold for 3 waterfalls, all taking different gallon per hour. One is going to be probably around 12. Another one's going to be about maybe 9. Another one's at 7. The rain chain, I just put enough to give a good rain chain effect. So that's why you need the valves. A lot of people kind of go with the hose barb, come with the pipe, put another hose barb into here, and then these are scattered everywhere. So it doesn't matter. You can do it. I just like to have my whole entire assembly with my valves here, so I'm right there and I can tweak the valves to each of the waterfalls. And believe me, with having almost 40 different rain chain type and all these universal waterfall type gorgeous waterfalls that I have all over in the different bubbling rocks and stuff, you kind of need to do some of this stuff, because it doesn't make sense to, like this setup, I'd have 4 pumps in a pond. It doesn't make sense. And you want to start with 1.5 inches. That's where the pump comes in, so you don't want to reduce it to 1 inch like I did last year. So you want to come, and each one of these is going to take, so I think I got a 5,500 gallon per hour pump for this. In actuality, when it goes through all this, you're probably losing at least 3/4 of it. So this is a correct way to try to plumb your stuff up, and always give yourself extra, because you never know what's coming down the road.